What is up, guys? Welcome back to the German Muscle channel. So if you guys remember all the videos that I did on my deck lid, you guys will know that this thing is pretty much shot paint wise, because I've tried to fix it before in the past with all the scratches and shit. I buffed it so many times, and there's just so many scratches in it. You can tell a major difference between the quarter panel section and the trunk itself. So the whole thing is just completely ass. There was some big ass scratches all through it, and I actually painted over those and sanded them out, and made it worse. So anyways, what I'm going to be doing is taking the trunk off, taking it in my apartment and buffing the entire thing, and then putting it back on. So I made a video like 7-8 months ago or something like that on how to remove the auto trunk button, and I got as close as taking the whole thing off and finding out that there's not a detachable piece in the wire system. So I actually got a comment on that video the other day, and Dew was pretty much explaining how it comes off. So big shout out to whoever commented. I can't remember your name, but I'll screenshot it and throw it up on the screen right now, so that way you get your shout out or whatever. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead, pull this shit out, take all this off, and try to get this shit unplugged. I know I watched the video where somebody unplugged the entire wire harness and slid it through here, but I don't want to do all that shit, because I'm just going to take the whole entire deck lid off itself, and hopefully there is a two-piece wiring where I can unplug it, and then leave the other half of the wire harness on the trunk, and then this shit. So for everybody that's trying to take off their carpeting for the trunk, you got a series of clips that hold it on, and then you got a screw right here and another one right here. That's what holds this in. You don't have to take that out. I don't know if it screws into the metal or not. It would make sense if it did, because that's how it holds it. But take all those out and take the screws out. You can untwist this and then pull the hinges right out. So I already took off the spring for this side, well, the shock anyway. It's two metal tabs that go in that right there. You just pop those out and then pull that out. Make sure you don't lose those, because they're very important. And then it comes off. And these two bolts right here, this one and this one, they're both 12mm. So you're going to need a small socket to be able to get back in here. You'll be able to loosen that up and then take it out with your fingers. But this one right here, you might actually have to have a wrench to take that off. I haven't even gotten it loose yet because the ratchet does not fit in there. Even if you take the weather stripping out, it still doesn't fit. You would have to bend the metal right there, and you don't want to do that. So don't bend that. Anyways, on to the carpeting of the trunk. There is a series of clips. Right here is all the clips. So basically, you just take a flathead screwdriver, get it up underneath, in between those two pieces right there. If I can do this with one hand. Alright, so get a flathead screwdriver in between those right there, and then pop them loose like that, and then pull one out. And if you have one that is stuck, that won't come out, if you can get it out a little bit, take a wire and wrap a wire around that and then just pull it out. And that's how you get the clips out. Then you got a screw right here and a screw right there. That's what holds that in. And you show you guys real quick. The screws have like carpet on the top right there, so it looks like the carpet that goes in there, but that's how you get those out. They're flatheads, and to get those out, they are star bits. I just used a little knife right there, got them out. But other than that, you have all the wires for the tail lights and stuff. If you come to clips like this right here, the best way to get those out is this whole like little plastic piece right here, that black thing. It'll be inside the hole right there. Just get a screwdriver, a flathead, in between the trunk metal and the plastic thing, and just pop it out. And then you will have this right here that plugs into the trunk switch. And then the hardest thing to get out is this right here. So this actually goes through like this right here, and a little bottom piece to that clips on, just like that. Pull that out, and then that will get out of the way. But in order to get this out right here, you have to push this piece down, like put a screwdriver in there in that hole and lean it towards this, sort of like this right here. Then just pop that loose. You have to mess with it for a little bit, but it'll pop out. Then you have this little cover. This little cover goes up here. It goes in just like that. You just pull it down. And then this clip, you just pull that out. And this is the wire to the auto trunk switch. So I made a video on how to remove the auto trunk button, and I couldn't figure out how to remove the switch, but it's right here. It's two piece. So you unplug that, and you can pull this piece off right here. So now you just need to pull that last piece out, pull all the wire out through there at the bottom, and then the wire harness will be free, and then you pull the trunk off. I'm taking the bolts out at the bottom because I don't have the hex head for that. It'll strip out. So that's just what I'm doing. I'm doing it the hard way. I'm gonna have to find a wrench that'll fit that, because I haven't found it yet. But this is actually pretty simple. But yeah, I just got one more wire to pull, and then I can pull it all out through the bottom, and then take the bolts out, and then I'll be able to take the trunk off. So the reason why I'm taking the trunk off is because this thing is riddled with scratches. So if you take these shocks off, lay them in a place where they won't get damaged and they won't compress or whatever. And then I just left the clips right there. So this right here is it just says 3 on it, and that's for this bolt right here. Take that out, and then you're good to go. So I'm going to pull the last wire out, and then try to find a wrench for that, and then pull this trunk off. See you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so I was actually able to get the socket and ratchet on the bolt. The thing is, you're going to have to fight it a little bit, and it's going to scratch the paint. So make sure if you scratch it down a bare metal, that you fill that up with some touch-up paint, so that way it doesn't rust. But I'm able to turn this now. I already did the same for the other side. This thing is completely dry. I took the tail light out, and this thing's ready to be taken out. Just make sure that you line those bolts up with that paint right there, just like that. So I'm gonna get this thing taken off and take it in my house and buff this bitch. See you guys in a minute. Okay guys, so got the bolts out on both sides. The only thing is, you don't want this to come apart because it's spring loaded. So I just put the clip back on right here and gotta hang it back. You don't need to unplug that in order to take the trunk off. You just need to unplug all the harnesses to pull them out of the bottom right there. Okay, so I made a video on how to remove the auto trunk button about 6 or 7 months ago, and honestly I couldn't figure out how to unplug it. In the video I said you can snip the wires right there and wire them back up if you need to replace this, but somebody commented on that video and basically you just need to unclip it. So there will be something like this, and I think this goes in the top like that, plugs in there, and then the other wire, which is somewhere in that mess, plugs into here. And then after you unplug that, pull this off, keep it, don't lose it, and then this pulls straight out. So I'll show you guys real quick, straight out of that. So my trunk is off, it's ready to be taken off now, but doesn't look like it's going to rain, so I'm going to be good on that. The only thing I need to do is just take a blanket and cover all this up, because there's a lot of thieving kids that live around here. So this thing is ready to be taken off and taken up in my apartment and cleaned up. So the reason why I made a video on trying to take this off is because mine's all cracked up. These are the only two that's good. That one's actually cracked too, and plus that right there, that's bad, and that one's good, but the rest of it's fine. It's just all fucked up right there and there. Alright, so first things first, take the alcohol, just spray down the deck lid, clean this thing up real good, clean rag, wipe it off. Yes, I know I'm not using a terry cloth, I don't care. This deck lid is fucked up anyway. If I can get these scratches out, then I will start using terry cloths. But in the meantime, I ain't worried about it. So for everybody that's in the comments saying, oh, you're not supposed to use that, you're not supposed to use that, trust me, I know. I'm just cleaning this bitch up with some rubbing alcohol, and then I'm gonna buff it with some Scratch X. So now that it's clean, I'm gonna grab another rag and wipe all this off, and then I'm gonna buff it with the Scratch X. Okay, so this is just after one pass. This is where I haven't buffed it out yet. As you can tell, it's got all kinds of shit on it, but it's all scratched up compared to this side. That's just one pass. By the way, I am using a terry cloth and it is clean. Got some more Scratch X. Now I'm about to go ahead and buff it again. Okay guys, so this is the second pass right here. There's a bunch of stuff flying around, but this is the second pass. This is where I haven't touched it at. You can see a little reflection of my American flag and all that, but this is where I haven't touched it at. Over here, I haven't really been working in this spot that much, but come over here, start to see the reflection on the wall, and you can see that flag. You see that picture frame I got there? So right here is probably about the best, but look at that, almost half of the scratches are almost gone. There's still a shit ton, obviously, as you can tell, but it's nowhere near as bad as this side. So yeah, this side still hasn't been done yet. This side has, and you can see the reflection really good. So I want to keep going at this. This is all I'm using. I don't even know what kind of pad this thing is. I just got that at O'Reilly's for my 10-inch buffer, and I just slapped it on there and it works really good. But that's what I'm using. I know you're supposed to use like a wool pad and then a cutting pad, a buffing pad, and all that stuff, but I don't have that, so I'm working with what I got, which is this right here. So like I said, I don't know what this is, but it's just a regular buffing pad, I guess, but it's working wonders. So I'm gonna keep at this. By the way, this is the only thing I've used so far, Scratch X 2.0. I haven't used the polish or the compound yet. So just doing this real quick. I'm gonna keep going at it for a little while, try to get rid of as many scratches as I can. I know this says fine scratch and blemish remover. These are fine scratches because it's done by sandpaper. There's a scratch right there too. Anyway, I'm not recording it because I don't have my tripod. I don't feel like going and getting it, but maybe I'll set something up so that way I can record a couple passes. But yeah, it's pretty good so far, so I want to keep working at it, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, got you guys set up finally. Just gonna put down some Scratch X. That was a little too much. Plug this shit in. Hell yeah. Hell motherfucking yeah, bitch. Alright, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but this bitch is shiny as fuck on the top. Just so you guys know, the top was really bad. It was scuffed up with all types of sandpaper, and it almost looks like black glass with a few minor scratches left in it. There's still swirl marks in it, but at least the paint is black now instead of like a chalky color like it was before. Still need to do the other side over here, and I don't want to do the whole thing over and over. I want to keep using this stuff until I don't see any more scratches. Of course there's still going to be scratches because I don't have the cutting pads or the buffing pads or whatever. I just have a little generic buffing pad, but you're supposed to have like a wool pad or some shit like that. But the part down here where the taillights are and the emblem, that has never been painted. A little section over here, if you guys can see that little section over there has, because there's like a little rock chip, and I fixed that, but the rest of this has never been painted. So I'm actually going to go clean this up, wipe it down, and buff that and see if we get any good results. Alright guys, so I haven't been recording much because I've just been wanting to get this thing done, but here goes the top. Look at that. You still see the swirl marks, yeah, but look how shiny that shit is. Before you couldn't see anything over here, now you can see the whole fucking wall, the ceiling. You can see out my window, you see Tupac over there, that flag right there. Some of you guys might think that that's a Trump flag, but it's not. And you got all that shit. So yeah, this bitch is shiny as fuck. If I had the cutting pad and the wool pad, it would look like it just got painted, but you can't see the scratches unless you look in the light. So obviously there's still scratches, but if you guys are looking to remove fine swirl scratches or blemishes or whatever in the paint, I would highly suggest using this stuff with a variable speed rotary tool. I got this. This is a Drill Master. It's actually hot as fuck right now, but this thing right here, it goes all the way up to 6. Oh shit, wrong button. Goes all the way up to 6, and this is a 3500 RPM drill. Like I said, I don't have the right pads. I know this is off my 10-inch buffer. I just got like a piece of a cushion here supporting it, so that way it's bulked up a little bit. But yeah, this thing works really good. This stuff works really good too. So this was actually $42 or $43. If I can find the link, I'll put a link in the description where you can get this stuff and the compound. So that's not bad at all for about an hour's worth. You guys seen how it looked before, but now look at that. That right there is my lamp. You can see it. Wow, this thing is fucking awesome. Gangster shit. Alright, so I'm going to keep working at it, but this time I want to use the ultimate compound, and then I want to use the polish. Alright guys, I went over it like 40,000 times. This thing looks brand new, even with the lights on in the back. Looks brand new. Now let's turn the flash on. So this is what it looks like with the flash on. Obviously, like I said, there's a shit ton of swirl marks and scratches still left in the paint. That's because, like I said earlier, if you guys didn't hear me, I don't have the 105 compound cut and buff stuff. I don't have the wool pads or anything like that. I just have a buffing pad that goes to another buffer. But this thing already looks 1,000 times better than it did before. So I'm gonna go and get the 105 cut and buff stuff, all the pads that I need, and then I want to do this again. I'll make a video about it, and then I'll actually show the process of buffing. But if it doesn't come out perfectly clear like I want, then I'm just going to strip this paint off and repaint it. So I'll make a video about that as well. But still really scratchy, but this thing looks a million times better. So I've actually polished this stuff before. You guys have seen the video. It's at 1,000 some views now, and that was with a little handheld polisher, and that didn't even do anything. I did this side right here, like I put the tape line right here, did this whole entire side, and it still did nothing. It was completely dull, but it looks 1,000 times better. This side right here actually came out the best. Still a lot of scratches, but this side came out the best as opposed to this side. So I'm done. I've been here for about 2.5 hours now, just buffing this thing down, and I'm sweaty as hell. It's like 95 degrees in my house because my AC don't work, and I'm done. So this is where I'm going to end the video at. So if you guys like this video, smash the thumbs up button, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. I know it looks 1,000 times better, but there's still heavy scratches in it. If you guys know how I can get those out any other way, then let me know down in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Turn on your post notification bell so you guys never miss a video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Okay guys, like I said earlier, you don't want to lose these little pieces. They go to the shock. So in order to get them on, you have a slit right there and one right there. It'll look like that at the top. I'm doing this one-handed, so bear with me. But take it from the top like that, and then push it down like that a little bit. Do the same for the bottom. When you put it on, take a flathead and push down, and then that'll make the little clip seat down where it's supposed to go. So that's how you put those back on. I'm gonna put this thing back together. I already got the trunk on, got it bolted down. I just need to put the shocks back on, run the wire harness back through, and put the little cover back on, put the taillight back in, and I should be done. I'll show you guys how to pull the wire harness through as well, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this done, and then I'll show you guys how to do that in a minute. Alright, so now I need to go ahead and fish the wire harness through and get everything plugged up and throw this bitch back together. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Alright guys, so in order to put the wire harness through, pull it out, the longest one should be the one that goes to this tail light right here. Take that, stuff it through. To get to about that point. The reason why I took this tail light out is because come in here, well, anyway, you can just put your hand in here, feel around, and then be able to grab them. But if you can't do it that way, another thing you can do, take a metal coat hanger and stretch it all the way out and wrap one end around one of the clips on the wire harness, and then pull all the way through the top, and then it'll fisher all the way through. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull these things through, clip everything up, put it all back together. I'll see you guys in a second. Okay guys, to be honest, when I stuffed all the wires through, they just got all caught up in here and I wasn't able to get a hold of them. So I just stuffed the wire through. I stuffed the wire through this hole right here, pulled it all the way up out of here, and then stuffed it down. Here it is. I'm about to wrap it around the wire harness and pull it through. That is a burnt wire. That is definitely a burnt wire. Let me go ahead and take that up. Okay, so all four of these wires were burnt a little bit. So I taped them all up. Now I'm about to tape them all together and fish that through. Okay guys, so about 30 minutes later, I finally got this thing put back together. And the fun part is, I don't have any leftover bolts. So this is the first project that I've ever done where I've had no leftover bolts. So now the only thing that's left to do there you have it. Trunk works. I will see you guys in the next video. Poosh.